ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So Lord Kapila is explaining about how the living entity moves about from one body to another. In the Bhagavatam, it is termed as Sat Asat Janma Yonishu. And the reason is also given. Karanam Guna Sangasya. Whatever different kinds of modes of material nature we come in touch with, we acquire that kind of mentality. And when we live our life according to that kind of activities, our future destiny becomes fixed. So that is why it is said, Karanam Guna Sangasya Sat Asat Janma Yonishu. Whether we are going to get a lower species of life, higher species of life, it is all dependent on the modes of nature we come in touch. And actually it is so essential, that is why if you find Srila Prabhupada's one of the very important videos which was recorded when Prabhupada was about to leave this planet in 1977. Srila Prabhupada is lying down on his bed, and we can see that actually he is completely unaffected by the bodily circumstances. And Prabhupada was translating and giving Bhaktivedanta purports at that time. So, in one of that famous recordings, Prabhupada explains about the importance of coming to the modes of goodness. And Prabhupada is saying that is why it is essential we should rise up early in the morning, get up, attend Mangalarati. We do not understand the importance of this. We are simply taking it as like a ritual. We are not knowing, we are not understanding that Vidhi Bhakti means there are certain practices, there are certain rules and regulations we must follow, by which our conditioning, whatever different modes of material nature we are conditioned to, it can slowly become slackened. Otherwise there is no possibility. In other species of life, whatever modes of material nature a living entity is in, he is bound by that. We cannot improve the condition of life of animals. So, just like there is a saying that Prabhupada quotes that. It is not that if you make a dog sit on the throne that he becomes a king. As soon as you throw one chappal, he will immediately jump from that throne and pound on that chappal, on that shoes. He remains a dog. His condition of life cannot be changed simply by changing the circumstances. But in human form of life, we must understand that by our karma, we may be born with certain nature, we may be born in certain kind of conditions of life, but by practice, we can change the course of our life. So, that is why this practice, which is called as sadhana, is very, very essential. Even though there is no doubt about it that our upbringing plays a very important role. If throughout our childhood we have been, somehow or other associated with tamoguna and rajoguna, definitely it is quite difficult to give up those modes of material nature and come to the platform of sattva guna. It is difficult, but it is not impossible. And that is why the sadhana bhakti is very essential. So, in that case actually we will have to practice more rigorously. Bhagavatam says this, Tivrena bhakti yogena, one has to practice very rigorously because our conditioning is not from one life. Let us take little austerity for one life at least. So many life we have given up to our senses. We have become the slaves of our mind. At least in this human form of life, we should come to our senses. We should think, let me take little austerity. Isn't it? I may be used to not getting up early in the morning, sleep for 8 hours. At least let me take, because if you take little austerity, the kind of consciousness you are going to achieve, the kind of consciousness which you can achieve by that is completely different from the consciousness anyone can have under the modes of material nature. Just like here we can see the example is given. Lord Kapila is saying, the shackle of Maya is so strong that Maya makes a living entity in illusion. So this reality should be known to us, that in whatever modes I am present, even though it may be called as lower modes, just like sometimes you will find a drunkard, he is in the lower ignorance, he is drinking, he is lying down on the street, people are sometimes walking and sometimes even kicking him. But he is not able to realize that. He is not able to understand. What kind of abominable life living he cannot understand. Because this is an aspect of Maya. He has no control over it. This is how Maya acts. It covers our real understanding and knowledge. That is called as avarnatmika. And that is what Lord Kapila is explaining here. He is saying Jantur vai bhave etasmin, in this material existence, Jantur, the living entity, yam yam yonim anuvrajet, according to his karma, whatever different species of life Jantu may enter, the living entity may enter, tasyam salabhate nirvritim, in that species of life he obtains a kind of satisfaction. Even if the living entity goes to the life of, Prabhupada gives the example, a stool worm. Prabhupada says you can experiment. You take out the stool worm and keep it little away. It will walk back to the stool once again. Because he finds a kind of satisfaction in that condition of life. That is how Maya acts and bewilders the living entity. You see, in today's conversation, Prabhupada explains this bewildering potency of Maya. Bahir Artha Manina. Prabhupada is saying there are different level of existence. Somebody is existing on bodily platform. Somebody is existing on mental or intellectual platform. They are all Bahirartha. They are not me. They are all external to me. So when we are influenced by this Bahirartha, when we are existing on those platforms, then we are bewildered by Bahiranga Shakti. We are bewildered by material energy of the Lord. So, very beautiful conversation Prabhupada is saying. Nate vidu swarth gatim hi Vishnu durashaya ye bahirartha maninaha. External. Those who are captivated by external feature, they cannot understand what we mean by Krishna consciousness. So they cannot understand. Those who are on bodily platform, they think material advancement, big house, big road, this is required. That's all. They do not know beyond this there are other things which is really essential for the human life. They are captivated by this external Bahirartha. Just like Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. This body is Bahi, mind is Bahi, intelligence is Bahi. They cannot understand. So, they cannot understand this. Then Prabhupada is explaining further that how when they are going on with this, when they are on that bodily platform, mental or intellectual platform, and they are giving so much of importance to external energy of the Lord, big houses, big buildings, big civilization they are building, they are not able to sense or understand that actually whatever activities they are doing, it is all illusion, because everything will be finished. So Prabhupada is giving very beautiful example. Prabhupada is saying, because there are Bahirartha Manina, they are thinking this is all. Group of men is coming, exploiting the resources, just like this building. It is nothing but exploiting the resources, making brick from earth or from stone or iron, and they pull up. So Prabhupada is saying, what is their mentality, how they are bewildered? Just like children, they go to beach, they pile up the sand and they imagine they are making some big palace. This is their mentality, childish mentality. Big castle. And at a time, they have to leave. In formerly Romans, they also came. They also constructed big building. Now they are rotting. So where are those big buildings now? They're all, broken, finished. Kala is like that. Time will pass and all our so-called material advancement will be finished. Another generation, they are creating the same thing, exactly like children. After playing, they are going, nobody knows where they have gone. Similarly, these rascals, they are coming, they have got human intelligence, simply spoiling that intelligence in amassing external resources of material nature, and they leave the platform, again go away, again take birth in another form of life, everything forgotten just like in a dream. They cannot understand it has no value. See, they cannot understand it has no value because bewildered by Avarnatmika Shakti. See, now it's very important to understand that actually, just like in contrast to this, where we are bewildered by Avarnatmika Shakti of the Lord, and the result of that is, in whatever miserable condition of life you are happy, you are satisfied. In contrast to this, there is a stage in spiritual life where you attain such a consciousness, such a platform, that however miserable your life may be externally, however miserable your conditions may be externally, you can still be satisfied, you can still be happy. Na sochati, na kankshati, Brahma bhuta prasannatma. So the difference is, one is in ignorance and one is in knowledge. That is the difference. A pig is also satisfied in most miserable condition of life, and a devotee is also not bothered about the external condition of life. From his external viewpoint, he may be in a very miserable condition of life. Just like sometimes you may find Prabhupada says, what does it matter? Let us say if old age comes and a devotee is not able to be very actively involved, but just by lying even on the bed, the devotee can be completely absorbed in Krishna just by chanting the holy name of the Lord. You see? Because there is no difference. In chanting the holy name or doing some service, there is absolutely no difference. You see? So, this has to be understood. Krishna, he is called as Raso Vai Saha. He is the reservoir of all pleasures. And Krishna and his name, Krishna and his thinking, Krishna and his activities, there is no such difference. Everything is Krishna. So somehow or other, in whatever way we come in touch with Krishna, actually that is a great gain for us. That is why Rupa Goswami is advising that somehow or other, he said, yena kena prakarena, somehow or other, manaha Krishna nivasye. Just put your mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. Just try to keep your mind on Krishna. That will actually save us. So, this is what we have to understand, that actually there is a possibility of coming to the platform of Brahma Bhuta, where one is completely satisfied. And Prabhupada says this is one of the very important tests of devotional life. Devotee should be satisfied in any condition of life. Any condition, material condition, not spiritual condition. If we are not surrounded, if we are surrounded with materialistic people, then we should be feeling distress as if we are covered from all sides with fire. See how much difference it is. Materially, devotee is satisfied in any condition of life, ups and downs and so-called material happiness and distress. He is not bothered about that. They are all bahi, they are all external to him, he understands. But the greatest distress of a devotee is if he is not able to get association of devotees, if he is not able to get opportunity to practice devotional service. That is the greatest distress a devotee has. Otherwise he has no other distress. See? So this should be the test for a devotee. Am I satisfied? So many years of Krishna consciousness I have been practicing. Am I satisfied in any condition of life? So for spiritual progress, we should not be satisfied in any condition of life. Sometimes we become complacent. Sometimes we have become complacent. So that is not sign of spiritual life. Materially we should be complacent, that I don't want to increase my more and more attachment to this material world. This I should decrease and this I should increase. Because we can never be neutral. The living entity cannot be neutral. Mayavadis, they try to become completely zero. That is not the position of the living entity. Either materially attached or spiritually attached. These are the only two conditions. So either we can remain bound by material attachments, or we can slowly give up this attachment and become more and more attached to Krishna. So these are the two things. Just few days back I was giving a class in Vrindavan. So there one very interesting subject matter came, so I thought of relating that. Very interesting. How actually a devotee, he can be Krishna conscious at every moment of his life. So Prabhupada explains about that, even though externally he may be doing so many of his duties, but actually he can be completely attached to the Lord. So it was explaining about Akrura's consciousness. So Akrura was given the work, actually it was Maitreya Rishi was explaining about to Vidura about Akrura. So Vidura was inquiring about all the different associates of the Lord, because Vidura had just come back from the pilgrimage. Even though he knows that actually Krishna has disappeared and Yadu dynasty practically is also on the verge of extinction. The Lord is winding off his leelas. But he is not able to take that news. He is not convinced about that. He cannot think about a moment when Krishna is not present. So he is still going and inquiring from Maitreya Rishi. So he is asking about what about the welfare of Akrura? And then he is explaining that Akrura was so ecstatic that when he got down from his chariot, he was rolling on the ground in Vrindavan. Can you please tell me about him? Where is he? What is he doing? How is he doing? So in that context, Prabhupada explains about the life of Akrura. So that we have all read in Krishna book, that when Akrura was asked by Kamsa had made a lot of plans, and he thought that Akrura is one of the best person who can execute my plan. So Narad Muni had just informed Kamsa that actually You are thinking that you are sending so many asuras and trying to kill so many children, it is of no use. You do not know that Krishna and Balaram, Vasudev, in disguise, somehow or other, he has sent Krishna, and now Krishna and Balaram are in the house of Nanda Maharaj. So actually Narad Muni wanted to expedite somehow or other annihilation of Kamsa. So he gave this news to Kamsa. So then Kamsa started planning. He made a big plan to kill Krishna, and he explained that plan to Akrura. So he called Akrura and said that I am very confident. So he said, somehow or other you bring Krishna and Balaram, invite them to Mathura. And I have made further plans. The plan is, when Krishna and Balaram will come at the entrance of Mathura, there is my, that elephant, mad elephant, Kuvalapid. So he will crush Krishna and Balaram to death. And somehow or other, if Krishna Balaram escape that mad elephant, then I have arranged for wrestling match. Chanur and Mushtik, they will crush him. So he made all these plans, and then he said, after that, once Krishna and Balaram, they are killed, then I will go and I will arrest my own father, put him behind the bars. Actually he had arrested. And then all these Yadavas also, I will vanquish them, I will finish them off. So many plans he was making. So Akrura said, your plans are wonderful. But then he said, do not be very happy, because you may make plans, but if Krishna does not sanction, then everything will be failure. It all depends on the Supreme Lord. So then anyway he said, whatever plan you have made, I will follow your plan. So I will go. And then whole night before he wanted to leave, he was thinking about his good fortune. He was thinking about his good fortune. So Prabhupada explains that right from the morning, next day when he was on his chariot and he was proceeding towards Vrindavan, his mind was filled with ecstatic thoughts of meeting Krishna. He is going to meet Krishna. And his mind is completely filled with those thoughts. And he is thinking, how much liberal Kamsa is. How much liberal Kamsa is. He has given me the opportunity to go and have the vision of the Supreme Lord. His vision, the lotus feet of Krishna, they cannot be seen even by the greatest yogis. Even they have to wait for many, many births. Great jnanis have to take many, many births just to have the vision of the lotus feet of the Lord. Isn't it? Those lotus feet which are worshipped day and night by Mother Lakshmi, I will be able to have vision of those lotus feet. Isn't it? So he's thinking like this. But then he's thinking that actually I am not going on a mission of, externally I am going on a mission of bringing Krishna and Balaram for Kamsa's plan. So whether Krishna will actually see me, but then he is thinking, no, Krishna knows inside. He knows that externally I may be doing all these things, but Krishna knows my heart. Definitely the moment he sees me, he will immediately hug me. So with all these thoughts he was going, and Prabhupada explains how he reached Vrindavan. He did not even know. It was already sunset. Morning to evening. So Prabhupada says from Akrura, we should learn this eagerness. We should learn. And Prabhupada says, how to visit a holy place of pilgrimage like Vrindavan, we should learn from Akrura. And then the moment he saw the footprints of the Lord, he was so much in ecstasy. He forgot everything about his external, just got down and he was rolling in the dust of Vrindavan. You see. So this is what we can see. So this is what the devotee should be thinking. That I have to give up this material attachment. I should increase my attachment more and more towards the Supreme Lord. And that is not possible until and unless we are attached to material things. Isn't it? So this practice of devotional service is very essential. It's a process. It's a scientific process. We should not be, thinking or deterred just by thinking that somehow we are not making progress. But if we understand, just like Rupa Goswami has explained the whole process, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya and Anartha Nivritti Syat. So until and unless our sadhana is proper, Anartha Nivritti will not happen. And if Anartha Nivritti will not happen, our mind will not become fixed in Krishna consciousness. It will not become fixed in devotional service. And if it is not fixed, where is the question of ruchi? Where is the question of attachment? Where is the question of asakti? Where is the question of ecstatic symptoms which we find Akrura is having? Isn't it? So those are all possible. And as I was saying that yes, there is a possibility, just like Maya is covering the living entity, wherein in whatever condition of life he is in and he is satisfied. Similarly, there is a position in spiritual life where attaining that, even greatest difficulties in the material life, one is not shaken. He is completely fixed in his devotional service. He is completely not bothered about the externals, and he makes progresses in spiritual life. So we'll stop with this. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki